Talk to me, Lions fans. The roar in Detroit is deafening, but the chatter never stops. We had a different kind of locker room speech from Dan Campbell, Myles Garrett praising our run game after the trash talk, heavy news on the secondary with a concerning injury, and even whispers about a major reinforcement arriving. Hold on tight, because that last one's got everyone on edge. But before we dive into every detail of this breakdown, let me hit you with a quick one. Subscribe to the channel, it's free, costs you nothing, and fuels this real fan talk. Drop a like too, because that helps YouTube spread this One Pride conversation to more people. And seriously, sound off in the comments, because this space belongs to all of us. The vibe in the locker room after the win against the Browns was unique, and it caught everyone's attention. Dan Campbell wasn't just riding the wave of euphoria, he got real with the guys. Let's see what Campbell said, because coming from a coach who usually celebrates every effort, you can feel he's pushing harder because he knows the potential of this roster.
That's number 3, man. All right, and here's what we said going into this game. We needed our defense to show up, and we needed special teams, man. That was the beginning of it. Defense, man, 3 takeaways, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, punch out, and recovery. Allowed only 79 rushing yards, 3 sacks, and they were 3 of 14 on 3rd down. That's defense. We had a big win the other night, short week. We had to get back, and we did what we had to do. Now, it wasn't good enough, if I'm being totally honest with you. There's so many areas where we shot ourselves in the foot, and we cannot do that, okay? I'm just being honest. Now, it's not going to ruin our Sunday or the rest of the week. I can promise you that. Proud of you guys for the win itself, all right? I got 2 game balls. On defense, 4 total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 1 forced fumble, 4 quarterback hits. Aiden Hutchinson.
Let's keep going, build on this. Great team win, guys. I'm blessed to be back. I'm blessed to be back with you boys. Let's just keep it up. Thanks, guys.
On special teams, all right, 5 punt returns, 76 yards. We had 1 65-yarder for a touchdown, 1 kickoff return, 30 yards, 106 total return yards. Mr. Khalif Raymond.
I just want to thank you guys, man. It was grimy out there. We've been chopping at the tree for the last 4 games, man. We finally caught one, but that's what it looked like when you put in work. So, love y'all, man.
We will see you all tomorrow, man. Break it down.
Continue to chop wood, man. Continue to give it a y'all, man. That's who we are. That griminess, that's who we are. Stay like that. Keep that standard. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family. Good job. Ready to leave.
To be honest with you, I love it. It shows the mentality isn't just to win, but to win playing at the level the fans expect. He said something like, "It's not going to ruin anyone's Sunday, but we have to be better." That's the blend of pride and demand only Detroit gets. We carry decades of pain and frustration, so any slip-up brings back that bitter memory. Campbell wants to shield the team from that, to nip it in the bud, and you can sense, in the way he talks, that the standard has changed. The game balls told a story too. First went to Hutchinson, who gave us a scare when he was down after that hit. My heart stopped right there, I confess. But in the end, it was just the air knocked out of him. He said he was happy to be back with his teammates. Man, Hutch is the symbol of the grit of Detroit. Every snap from him is the sweat of the stands on the field. The second game ball went to Khalif Raymond. He deserves every single clap. He returns a punt for a TD, blows the roof off Ford Field, and the first thing he does is hand the ball to his wife in the stands. I get chills just remembering it. That's love for the game. That's the family fan team connection. And then in his speech, he drops this: "We've been hacking at that tree for 4 games. We finally chopped one down." What a line, right? That tenacity absolutely represents us. And check this out. Even the huddle break, usually led by Goff, was commanded by Raymond. His message was clear: keep chopping wood. That truly defines what these Lions are today. A team that isn't satisfied with one result, but knows they have to keep fighting. Now, if the coach is demanding and the leaders are showing humility even on the best day, you can feel something's different in Detroit. This mix of high standards and pride might be the secret to something bigger this season. Comment below if you felt that locker room energy too. Because I'm telling you, if that was the vibe after a blowout win, imagine when the crucial games arrive. And hold tight, because the next story shows that even the guy who talked smack before the game had to recognize our team's strength. Remember that trash talk before the game? Yeah, Myles Garrett was running his mouth all week, saying the Browns' defense hadn't seen anything like their front and that we wouldn't be able to run on them. Defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz jumped in, comparing us to Green Bay and Baltimore, trying to downplay the Lions' ground attack. Man, that definitely spiced things up. We know players hear that stuff. And then, when the ball was snapped, Detroit went to work. By the end, Garrett changed his tune. He started praising the Lions' run game, admitting the team was tough, physical, and pushed them around at several moments. And look, coming from one of the best defenders in the NFL, that recognition is huge. Of course, he didn't fully cave. He cited the 3.8 yards per carry average and that they managed to hold them on a few possessions. But honestly, against the #1 rush defense up to that point, 109 yards is a lot. And the absolute standout was Jahmyr Gibbs. That kid put the game on his back. 91 yards and a TD on just 15 carries. Speed, explosion, vision. It looked like he was running with the energy of the whole fan base. Meanwhile, Montgomery didn't produce with only 12 yards. But it didn't matter because Gibbs owned the show. Even Jamison Williams tried to run, but lost 3 yards. The detail few people highlighted is that besides running, the team protected Goff in an incredible way. Cleveland didn't manage a single sack. 0. That shows balance. The run opened up space, and the offensive line held firm in the pass game. To be honest with you, that's playoff football. That kind of consistency against an elite defense isn't luck, it's identity. Plus, the Browns had limited their first 2 opponents of the season to less than 100 combined rushing yards. I repeat, combined. Then the Lions come in and pass that mark in a single game. The narrative completely changed. Garrett acknowledged, they're tough, they want to push, and at times they got it done. That, folks, is respect earned on the field. We know smack talk is part of the game, but the only thing that matters is who gets the last word on the scoreboard. And Detroit hung 34-10. That shuts down any cheap talk. What remains is the certainty that our run attack is real, a serious weapon, and can carry this team in clutch moments. Comment below. Do you think this performance from Gibbs changes the backfield hierarchy? Because for me, after Sunday, the kid showed he could be the #1. Hold the line because the next news hits the defense directly and it's not good. The win against the Browns was massive, but it brought a heavy blow to the defense. The secondary came out banged up, and that makes any fan anxious. DJ Reed, who has been a crucial piece in this early season, left with a serious injury. Campbell tried to keep his words guarded, but it's clear this won't be a one-week thing. And to make matters worse, Terrion Arnold also left the field. Less severe according to the coach, but still another name in doubt. This situation exposes a weakness we already knew. The roster lacks sufficient depth at cornerback, and losing Reed now is a major problem. This is exactly why the name of Asante Samuel Jr. is already gaining traction in conversations. Many people pointed to him as the ideal fit back in the summer, not only for his experience but also for his ability to mentor the young guys. The thing is, he's still recovering from back surgery, but he's close to returning. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, he's due for an exam in October to check the spinal fusion, and if all goes well, he'll be looking for a team to play with in the second half of the year. Look, to be straight with you, it makes sense. Samuel has the pedigree, he's faced top receivers, he knows the league. Even if he doesn't come in flying, having a guy like that in the locker room would help immensely, especially with so many young players at the position. And if he starts on the practice squad, there's time to adapt. No panic. Of course, it's a risk. The injury history is concerning, but let's face it, entering the game with holes in the defense can't be worse. And Campbell knows it. He himself said, I don't imagine Reed playing next week, at the minimum. That already raises a red flag. The season is long, and running out of options would be asking for trouble in divisional matchups. I know talking about a reinforcement now might seem premature, but Detroit can't drop the ball. The offense is producing, the O-line is solid, but without cover on the back end, the bill comes due. Anyone who remembers last season knows what I'm talking about. So, fan, would you bring in Samuel, even with the injury risk, or would you prefer to bet on the young guys and see how far they get? Comment below, because this is one of those discussions that splits the crowd. And stay tuned, because the next piece of news is even tougher. The official confirmation on Reed's status leaves no room for hope of a quick return. The hardest blow this Sunday came with the official update on DJ Reed. Everyone saw the scene. He breaks up a pass to Judy, falls on the grass, stays down, and shortly after needs to be carted off. Heavy silence at Ford Field because we knew it wasn't simple. And sure enough, Campbell made it clear that Reed is unlikely to play against the Bengals and could be out for a longer period. This hurts because Reed had been one of the bright spots on this defense. In just 4 games, he'd shown why he got that big $48 million contract. He intercepted Joe Flacco, put the ball on the 5-yard line, and changed the pace of the game. He was justifying every cent invested. Then this injury hits at the wrong time. It's the kind of news that breaks momentum, and it wasn't just him. Terrion Arnold also left with a shoulder injury after trying to tackle rookie Judkins. The difference is Campbell sounded more optimistic about his case, saying it doesn't appear serious. Still, imagine going into the prep week against Cincinnati without 2 starting defensive backs. The depth was already limited. Now the hole is even bigger. The scenario is complicated. Without Reed, the main rotation will likely feature Khalil Dorsey and Rock Ya-Sin as the most reliable names. With all due respect, that's not enough to face strong offenses. And the fans know, last year the cornerback's fragility was a nightmare. The front office invested precisely to avoid reliving that in 2024. Now, less than a month into the season, the ghost is back. To be honest with you, there's no sugarcoating it. This loss is serious. Reed had become a leadership voice and was already a reference in the locker room. Replacing technique is hard, but replacing human impact is almost impossible. And Campbell, as tough as he is, didn't hide his frustration. He said he needs to wait for the exams but doesn't envision Reed returning anytime soon. That's practically a veiled confirmation of a long absence. The fans feel this pain because, unlike in other eras, the current team had managed to put together a balanced defense. The line holds up, the linebackers have evolved, and the secondary finally seemed reliable. Taking Reed off that chessboard disrupts a lot of things. Now, the front office needs to act, whether it's betting on someone on the roster or bringing in outside help. The risk of being exposed in big games is huge, and that could cost us dearly in the divisional race. So, fan, do you think we can hold on with Dorsey and Yasin, or is it time for Detroit to open the wallet? Comment below, because this conversation never stops. And take a deep breath, because in the conclusion, I'm going to tie all this together and talk about the exact moment the Lions are living in right now. Looking at all this together, it's clear that Detroit is living a moment of contrast. A demanding and motivated locker room, a ground attack that silenced Myles Garrett, but also a defense that loses an essential piece and needs to reinvent itself fast. The fans' pride is strong, but the worry is too. For me, this is the kind of test that defines a season, overcoming setbacks without losing identity. And the one pride has never been one to back down. Comment below, this space belongs to everyone who lives the Honolulu Blue. Catch the next video, because the conversation continues.